Hello everyone and welcome to this preview of, well, the future of Zone Control. Thought I'd make this video just to discuss, what's gonna happen in the future of this genre. Turn that down a bit because I can't hear a single thing. Anyway, a lot of people may not know I made this version roughly 12 years ago. Yeah, I'd say that 11, 12 years ago. And it's become pretty much a staple of the genre. There is another version that I made that was called Hydra Zones. Yeah, Hydra Zones. I tried to make it like a series. 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, blah blah blah. 4.0 seems to be the one that everyone's stuck with, for good reason. I mean, it didn't have these tiles here. For anyone that doesn't know, these tiles are bugged. They give a doodad appearance, which gives dodge. You'll notice this Hydralis here is dodging these Hydralis, and I try not to exploit this, but as you can see, I've played so many of these games that I just can't help exploit it. Always making sure that I fight around them, and constantly controlling that high ground in the middle. And these are things that I'm going to have to address. One thing being just the overall gameplay of this genre. Like, it's, as you can see, my APM is just nowhere near what it used to be. It has a lot to do with the mouse. It just doesn't work as fluent as it used to on an old rig. So a lot of the actions are, once I get into that dominant position, I can start using the massa more effectively. I've got this game well and truly won. I've got the advantage. I've got probably 75 mineral advantage, which is huge in this game. It really is. When you're versing people who just don't understand momentum of this game, it does hurt. But anyway, changes. So I'm going to list off a couple of the changes that I'm looking at. And these gameplay changes come from different versions that I've made and tested. I made 3 versions. This was one of the most popular. The other one was 4.0. 4.0 did not have high ground in the middle. It fixed these brackets here. It also changed nothing else. So that's pretty much what 4.0 did. It got rid of these brackets here, which were only there to stop creep from spreading, so that 1, the zone is more defined, as you can see, and 2, yeah, pretty much, to stop the creep. You don't want the creep spreading because it's a gameplay change. It changes the way your Hydralis work on the other side. So if you're fighting in the open, you gain an advantage that you really shouldn't have, because nobody controls the zone. Unfortunately, it works on everyone's zone, which is a bit of a letdown, but that's just the mechanics of the game. Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit of showboating, but I was a little bit excited. I haven't played this game in a long time. So yeah, they were the 2 versions, other than the 3rd version, which I'll go over in a moment. You had the high ground in the middle and the non-high ground in the middle. Now the reason I took the high ground out is because it was too much of an advantage. You want people to leave their zones and get into the middle of the map, and the high ground, it promotes that gameplay, but at the same time it doesn't. If you don't have it, see, like, I'm desperate to get on that high ground. Had Hydras here, moves them onto the high ground. It increases your damage by 25%. That's the way I see it. So if you're not on it, you're effectively 25% worse off. I move on to that high ground, gain the advantage, and yeah, it was a huge gameplay feature. Another thing that I'm going to address is the kill trigger, which is the third version that I made. This version was not popular. The reason for that is because it's exactly like Zone Control Marine. Zone Control Marine had one flaw, and that was it was very fun for the first couple of upgrades, but as soon as someone got too out of control, there was no way back in. Absolutely none. This version of Zone Control, though, had a broken kill trigger. It didn't work. It appears to work, but it just didn't. So, and that it's a fascinating thing. It actually balanced the game. Someone kills a lot very quickly, they would be punished because they would lose out on resources. But if you kill constantly, see, I keep attack commanding these Hydras because I want to keep them killing. That it just exemplifies what I'm trying to say. The trigger in this game was all about keeping your kill, your KPM, basically, at maximum, and that gave you more minerals. If you exaggerated that fact and you killed too much too fast, well, yeah, you'd lose on credits. So that, well, lose on minerals. You know, you wouldn't be able to kill as much. You wouldn't have anything left to kill, is what I'm trying to say. So you got to keep that flow, that balance, and that's why one of the best ways to play is to keep the upgrades the same. You don't want to be killing your opponents too fast, but you don't want them killing you. And it was like I said, it was really fascinating that kill trigger, which was broken because it was designed around the value of Marines. And when the original Zone Control Hydra, which I've tried, there's about 10 to 50 versions. That's a big, broad number. Like, there were a lot of versions. I could not find the original creator. There is one that stuck up, and that was CDC, but I don't know if he was the original. But anyway, yeah, when they created the Hydra Zones version, they didn't change the kill trigger. So the kill trigger that's in this version, I was too young at the time to realise when I made this map, it was giving you minerals based on the score value of killing a Marine, which is less. So it just bloated it out, and every time you kill a Hydra, you're fundamentally getting 1.25 the value of a Marine. And that's not possible, so eventually it just breaks. And I'm saying good game here because yeah, I understand this game. Once you get a zone, you gain a massive advantage. It's 250 minerals, it's way too much. It should be 100. Once I killed the second one, I knew straight away, game over. So anyway, what I want to introduce for the new versions is one, I want to reduce the number of Hydralisks that spawn, but I want to increase the zones. Now why is that? Well, one, like I said, the middle is important. No one will go near it. But if I increase the number of zones, and I make this zone, and these two here, so I make a fourth zone in the middle of the map, but this would all look the same. But this side would be extended back. So instead of being what is this, 32 zones, 29? I don't know. Just off the top of my head, it would be a 43 zone or something like that. Wouldn't be 64 or whatever, 52 like the big marine version. And yeah. Well, I extended out, reduce the Hydralisk spawns, and increase the upgrade timer. Now, I noticed that did become a problem in a version that I did make. Now, I'll switch the replay up in a second, but it is one thing that I did change, and that was the upgrade timer, but it got to a point where people would have too many minerals and they wouldn't be able to spend them. But this is like 25 upgrades into the game, and I'm talking 25 to 50 upgrades comparison. But I'll just balance that out, and work a way around to get people able to spend minerals. We'll work it out. But having said that, this will create brackets, right, where someone's 4 upgrades ahead, and if they don't punish you, which they should be, and they are, then if I increase the mineral requirement for upgrade and the time, then like a lot more drastically, then people will find that, oh, I need to wait for this upgrade, and it's not happening very fast. Then your opponent starts to realize, like, this is my chance. If I don't get a lot of minerals from kills right now, I could lose the game. And then they strike and get a flank, go around you. Ultimately, they get their enough minerals to catch up. Sure, they'll be held back by the timer, but that's just how it is. Now I'll go into I'll just show you what I mean. We got a couple of replays here. This is one version that I'm looking at. You can see I've got the one map, one center zone with a lot more. This is just, as you can see, I'm just testing, making sure all of this crap's work. This is not the final product, by the way. This is testing what tiles give vision, so forth. We're going over a lot of that. Different map. This is probably the terrain I'm going to use, but it's not going to look anything like this. I'd like to keep the one color zone, like 1, 2, third. I tried to differentiate, high ground. This is low ground. It doesn't look like it has. So there's that. And lastly, white. Thing. I do have the map. Just bear with me. Here it is here. Now it's currently set to ice. I'm having a look at the tile set. Gotta be appealing. See, Solus Corpse. I'm just using his triggers to begin with. This map is 15 years old, probably, that I've gotten these triggers from. I made my versions scratch, but most of the core concept was copied from other versions. Because at that point in time, I didn't know what I was doing. Like this version, made from scratch. Yeah, I can't open that because I haven't added anything. What I will do though Can I? Yes, I can. So this is basically what I'm going. There. Got the 4 zones in the middle. You got the high ground, high ground, high ground in the middle. So far, the problem really is with this. I want to separate this tile here. It goes all the way around these 4 zones and inside to separate them so they look high. Because right now they don't. Thinking about probably turning it into grass. Straightforward, really. You just look at something that's grass. Separate the grass. It is really just. That may work, but I'll have to test it. It looks like a doodad, so it probably is a doodad. You can't have. Like that right there. That's a doodad. I don't want that. I wouldn't be able to use that. That might work because it's on the ground, stuff like that. But anyway, that's where I'm at. Slowing the game down but increasing it. So because there are so many zones, it won't play out like the original. You won't be going straight to the middle of the map, or farming like 3 or 4 minutes before you can even consider getting a zone. You're looking at upgrading to 2-2 and then getting a zone, or 4-2, 2-4. This time around, it'll be more about upgrading to 1-2 or 2-1 and having that zone either on the way or already there. So it'll be a double zone gameplay. You'll need 2 zones, or probably even 3 zones, to get the spawn rate that you would be accustomed to from the original. That requires a wait timer, which is very difficult to work into this genre because there are 8 players. Wait timers don't behave when there are no spare players. If this was a 4-player game, it would work. I just need one of the players to create a kind of like a speeding up trigger. It basically gives the game speed. I'm just messing around with design at the moment. Before I dive into the triggers and finalize it, I can flush out the ideas. Because while I'm doing all this training, that's all I'm thinking about is the finished product. How is this going to play? And that's really what I've got at the moment, stored up ideas. A lot of them have been implemented, but not all of them. The biggest one that I am definitely implementing, well, at this point, a couple of problems, pros and cons that I've got with it, but right now I'm pretty much cemented to the idea, is colonies will now be starting zone. You will then get a choice, upgrade to a spore or to a sunken. What spores will do is they will they will be able to detect lurkers, which is another idea. Unfortunately, having burrow in this genre is very difficult to attack hydras, so there's that. But if I was just to simplify everything, tell you what I have as official, it would be that build a zone, get a creep colony, and you will be able to upgrade that to a sunken colony. What that will provide you is the first zone, provide you hydralisks. That's a lot of bloody hydralisks. A lot of dead hydralisks. And the second zone will provide you with hunter killers at a reduced spawn rate because their score is almost 5 times the amount. So that can become hazardous if you don't have the right upgrades, if you don't use your efficient, effectively feeding someone 5 times the amount of mineral. There's this balance like that you gotta look at. But yeah, that's pretty what I've come to. I also gotta look at Infested Duran. If he has the same upgrades as Hunter Killers or not, that might be an avenue of attack. But yeah, that's where I am at gameplay designs. I'd like to know what you guys think. You know, so far I will have the masses, as you can see. I did put masses in there, but because I've changed tile set, they're gone. Just get rid of them, start again. They take a couple of seconds to make. So yeah, I'd love to know what you guys think. Any ideas? Maybe what the spore crawlers could be used, spore colonies could be used for. Maybe if there are limitations that I don't know about, because I have lurkers, because that gives access to burrow, which allows people to stack hydralisks, which is a no-no. You don't want that. You don't want a player sitting in the corner for like 10 minutes doing nothing, and then all of a sudden they show up with a stacked hydra, and it's got like 400 hydras on it. It's not what you want. I've seen that. I've done that in a prototype that I made 15 to 10, 12 years ago. It wasn't pretty. But then that raises new ideas. You know, if someone's going to sit back for 10 minutes, isn't there a supply cap or something to prevent that happening? Like getting more zones isn't an advantage. So maybe there's a supply cap that zones can, and that's something that I've been thinking about as well. So yeah, I'd like to know what you think. Got any ideas? In the comments. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, subscribe. Hit that like button. Subscribe. I'll be bringing out more. And yeah, I'll see you next time.